In the wake of Tesla, there were dozens of EV startups that showed off a vehicle and then either just disappeared or they're still struggling to build it. Meanwhile, Rivian decided, you know what, the world needs an electric truck. And then it went and built one. This is the Rivian R1T, starting at $67,500. This is the first electric truck to make it to the market. Well, it actually tied. It tied with the GM Hummer EV. But what it did beat is the Tesla Cybertruck. Tie or no tie with the Hummer EV, the R1T is an impressive beast that wants to bring adventure to the EV truck world. The midsize R1T has more in common with the Honda Ridgeline than with the Ford F-150. Instead of being built for contractors and work, it's actually built for adventure, which means it is set up for gear, a lot of gear, a lot of places to put gear, a lot of places to mount gear. Have I said the word gear yet? The bed has this cover. It's automated on the higher trim, manual on the lower trim. It has these hooks so you can tie things down. It has this storage space underneath the bed. You can put the optional spare tire in there, or you can just fill it with, I don't know, ice and shrimp like Ford did at one point. It also has all these hooks for cross members and other items that you can add to the truck. The adventure add-ons don't stop there. There's also this cool gear tunnel. If you have items that you don't want sitting in the bed or sitting in the cabin where people would rather sit, you can just cram them in there. But it also has a camp stove that you can have in here, a whole little kitchen that you pull out. It has a little sink and a little range top. And while I have seen it in action and it is pretty cool, it's also $5,000. So I don't know how much outdoor cooking you do next to a truck. If you do it a lot, maybe it's worth it. If you don't, I don't know, maybe just get a barbecue. The bed even has an overlanding tent setup from the company, although it'll cost you an additional $2,650. In the back, you have an air compressor for your bicycle riding ways. Hey. And over here on the other side, you have two power outlets. So you can plug in your toaster or things that people use when they're camping. Probably not toasters. And what's also nice about the gear tunnel is that these doors right here, they have little cubbies, like here's first aid. On the other side, there are tools that help fix a flat tire and a hose for the air compressor. And what's fun is because you have to probably put things up here, this will handle up to 250 pounds. So if you're 252 pounds, I'm sure it'll be fine, but 250 pounds. The exact same hooks that are here, it also has these hooks up here on the roof, so you can actually have two mounting setups to carry things around with one car. But adventure add-ons really don't matter if the vehicle is, well, not very good to drive and the in-car tech sucks. Fortunately, neither of those are a problem. Behind the wheel, the R1T feels a lot more solid than I would anticipate from a brand new automaker. Now, there are quirks, there are little things here and there, but that's to be expected from literally any automaker. Any automaker that's making a brand new model, I've always found little things here and there as they're first building it. This vehicle, I think, is like number 200 of probably 5 to 1,000 that they've built so far. So that's to be anticipated. That said, it drives very well. The steering there's very little play in the steering. It very much drives like a truck, but a little bit tighter. That said, the ride quality isn't quite as smooth as what you'd get from an F-150 or a Dodge Ram. It is smooth because you're driving an EV, but the F-150, especially the Dodge Ram, those are very smooth trucks. Rivian says that the R1T will do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, which is kind of ridiculous for a truck. I don't know why you need a pickup to go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, but it's not really that surprising. The vehicle has 835 horsepower and 908 pound-feet of torque. That is bonkers. That's insane. But you have it, and you can do things like, get ready, this. For those with motorcycles and boats and other cool fun things that you need to tow around, the vehicle can tow up to 11,000 pounds, and to get to the tow hitch you just sort of remove this plastic bit right here and it has the tow hitch adapter right there. Also, if you're going to Home Depot and you got to pick up a bunch of rocks or mulch or whatever, it has a payload capacity of 1,760 pounds. With the standard air suspension, the vehicle has a clearance rate from 8 inches to 14 inches. That vertical movement is most noticeable while switching between the truck's 5 modes. There's all-purpose, sport, off-road, conserve, and tow. And within the off-road mode are 4 additional settings: auto, rock crawl, drift, and rally. Sport is impressive for a truck, and for some reason, if you're ever at a track pitted against another pickup, you'll probably win. And of course, it has a launch mode that works both on and off-road. During my tests, all-purpose served most of my needs, and it's likely where the average owner will keep the pickup. That is, until this. A vehicle can have 4 off-road modes and then, not be off-road capable. Fortunately, the R1T is great off-road, and that's thanks to the 4-motor setup. 4 motors, 1 for each tire. Every tire gets its very own motor, which gives you these wonderful traction capabilities. But of course, if you want to do, turn all that traction control off, there's an off-road mode for that too. It's called drift. This is really the R1T's element, out here in the dirt and the mud. The 4 camera angles here help you navigate through narrow trails and over large obstacles, while the torque vectoring and hold system help you traverse both up and down hills, even in the rain. If, like me, your nearest off-road park is 2 hours away, the R1T has a range of 314 miles, so you'll be able to make it. And that is based on a 135 kilowatt hour capacity pack. That is standard. That's the base level pack that's available on all the trim ranges. It helps that the vehicle supports DC fast charging up to 210 kilowatts. So when you do have to pull over and charge, it won't take that long. Inside, the Rivian is outfitted with vegan leather. It's not from cows, it's fake cows, which a lot of automakers are doing with their EVs. They're trying to be more green from top to bottom. It's nice, it's comfortable. The dash materials feel good. They don't feel cheap. They don't feel like it's just sort of slammed together. Everything feels solid. And there is a ton of storage. There's storage here, there's storage down here, there's storage underneath the back seats. And what is fun, in addition to the power supply that's back here that for some reason is sitting at a weird angle underneath, so you have to kind of plug it underneath in there. There's also another fun little thing that they have, and that is a Bluetooth speaker. A Bluetooth speaker that's just sitting up here. So you can go outside and have a dance party in the woods or whatnot. And when it's dark outside and you are in the woods, there is a flashlight inside this door. You just reach in here, push it, pull it out. Little flashlight. Nice. And then when you're done, just put it away. Whoops. There we go. And if you're in the back seat and you have something that is in the gear tunnel, you can just get into the gear tunnel. It's like a little door. Put my whole arm in here. So the power move is to put a cooler in the gear tunnel, but right in the center. That way you can reach frosty beverages, sandwiches, beef jerky. Just put all your food in the middle of the gear tunnel. That's my pro tip. Boop. And boop. Up here you have a 16-inch infotainment touchscreen, which, like Tesla, a lot of the controls are, you have to use the touchscreen. There's not a lot of buttons in this vehicle. That means climate controls, locking the doors, adjusting the side mirrors, all that is taken care of by the touchscreen, which is great until you have to do a few taps just to, do anything. For the most part, it's easy to navigate with very little latency. I do wish there was a home screen that showed multiple pieces of information at once though. The most you get is a slide out drawer from the side with media controls. Unfortunately, it does not support Android Auto or CarPlay, so what you see is what you get. The dash cluster is bright and easy to read and has navigation always on, which I am a fan of. Why look to the right to the infotainment screen when you can just look down while you're checking your speed? Rivian has its Drivers Plus driver's assistance system. It has the usual lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control, and you turn it on by just double tapping on the gear stalk. it does a really good job of judging the vehicles in front of you. I had some cut-ins. It doesn't brake too hard, it doesn't take off, it doesn't accelerate too quickly when a car pulls away if you have your cruise control set to a higher speed. It's very well mannered for a new automaker. The lane keep assist is, for the most part, especially on straight roads or roads with little meandering turns, is fine. Really tight turns, it does have some difficulty with it. A lot of the stuff is coming over the air. You'll get some over the air updates and they say they'll make this system better as time goes on. But just a quick reminder, this is like vehicle number 209 that they've built. So new company, new vehicles, things are going to be updated as it's being produced. What's nice is that the system will tell you when things are about to happen. For example, it's telling me that there is a lane merge coming up ahead, so be sure to take over. All right, I'm ready to take over. What is interesting is that the steering wheel setup is reminiscent of Tesla and a Volvo. It's very minimalistic. You don't have a lot of button or icons or anything. This side over here on the left, this controls your media. Next song, former, previous song, adjust your volume. This side only controls the driver's assistance system. So when you don't have driver's assistant turned on, it doesn't do anything. I could just sit there and push these buttons all day. It doesn't do nothing. Doesn't do nothing. But turn on the ADAS system once again, and I can adjust my speed, I can adjust my follow length. So I'm sure lots of people are going to get in this vehicle and just be pushing this button right here in this section and just trying to figure out what the hell's going on, because nothing's going on. For the hands-free system, there is an in-car monitoring system. There's a little camera that's right here that keeps an eye on you. Make sure you're keeping an eye on the road and paying attention so that when you do have hands-free, you're not just looking off into the distance and checking out trees and whatnot. I'm driving the Launch Edition, which starts at $73,000, but it is sold out. On this vehicle, mostly you get a cool green color, which we don't have, and special interior badging, and a free wheel upgrade that usually costs $1,800. The adventure trim level gets everything that you see here, except you're going to have to pay extra for these fancy wheels. Meanwhile, the base level Explorer, starting at $67,500, it has the same power, it has the same 4-motor system, and it has the same battery pack, which means it has the same range. Really, as long as you're cool missing out on some niceties like an enhanced stereo system and an air compressor and a few other things, the Explorer is actually a pretty good deal. Rivian set out to build an adventure EV truck, and well, it's done it. It's built a truck that's ready to go off-road, to go up to the mountains, to drive through up to 3 feet of water. It does all of that in a very nice and well-built package. And what's even better is that when you lock it, it makes that bird noise. For more automotive coverage in the rain in the middle of nowhere, be sure to subscribe to Engadget.